All right, all right, all right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano, officially. And it is January 22nd, 2022. We're one day into the Trump admin. Things are looking great, but still ufology needs to rebound from the horrific psych job they did on us the other day. And now News Nation is striking and copyright writing people for playing the video. They're news. What are they doing? You never had this problem before. We, on the members show, I played the video 9 times. They blocked the members video. You can no longer see it because it's news. So let me get this straight. News Nation is not like ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and all the others? I guess not. I guess not. Because you never get claims from ABC, Fox. Nobody, ever. It's never happened. Only News Nation. So now, News Nation and Rose Cuckold are out. Screw them. They should be out anyway. And Rose Cuckold should be gone from this community. One of the worst shysters that has ever made his way to ufology is Rose Cuckold. For those of you who don't know, that's Ross Cuthart. Cut a fart. I can't stand that guy. Now he confirmed why after Jack Reacher came on the other day. And now I'm finding out that the UFO egg is just a balloon. And it looks just like the balloon. So I don't want to hear him. No, it's making believe it's the balloon. It looks like there. No. Show me it morphing into a balloon and I'll believe you, jackass. Oh, it's thought technology. They can change any shape. Nah, they would be invisible. They would look like an airplane so nobody comes after them. Shut off. So stupid. They do turn into airplanes. No, they don't. Jeff Willis is here tonight. I know he's got an opinion on this. Hopefully, we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully that worked itself out. But he'll be joining here in a second. And I've been cleaning my glasses. I don't know what the hell got onto them, but the more I rub, the blurrier it gets. I'm trying new pieces of shirt. Yes, I'm wearing a thermal because it's 53 degrees in my house. It is 39 outside. Yeah, that's Florida weather today. You know, global warming. Well, it's a polar vortex, Rich. You should understand. No, this is the Arctic blast after the polar vortex. Maybe you should know. We're not going to do roll call tonight. Save time to have Jeff come in here. I don't know if you need to hear me anymore. So I'm going to bring him on. And, we haven't seen Jeff since December, I think. Was it November? I think it was December. So it's the New Year's already 3 weeks in and a day. So it's been a minute since Jeff's been here. But for those of you who don't know, Jeff is a Arizona Skywatcher. Been doing it forever. Got more stuff on video than any one person should ever have. Need to share the eyes. Let others be the gift. How come other people don't see what we see? Well, I don't see anything anymore because I'm not going out. And Florida sucks where I live for skywatching. Yes, I know I can drive 20 minutes to the Gulf of America, or I could drive 2 hours to the Atlantic Ocean and look out and see lights that I'll never know what they are. I don't know what I was going to say, but I'm going to bring Jeff on. Let's see if Jeff is, if his stuff is working. So welcome to GUFON, everybody. Hope you're all okay. Brian, Samo, Beza, Jeanette, Samo, FAP. I almost said FAP. I'm just going through there. All right, Myra Page, how you doing? Zero Infinity. All right, Renee Cruz and Jeff.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right.
We couldn't
All
hear him
right.
before. It's working. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Goofonians. And yeah, it was weird when I logged in. At the top, there's some letters that says you are muted, but if it says the host has muted you, but if you want to unmute yourself, click the mute button. I was like, what in the world is that?
But I never muted you.
Yeah, it was
No.
weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
So I just left it alone,
Yeah. Well, you're here, and
I'm here.
we're into the new year already. So much has happened. At least I like the shirt, by the way. Chills is back.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. Chills. We love you, Chills.
I still have the matchbook you gave me and the papers that came.
Oh yeah. I was going to get
Chills.
you a PO box. I was going to send you some new Chills product stuff if you next time.
Oh, I don't have a PO box, but I'll send you the address to send it to. But
yeah. There you go. Just send it. Text me that later. I'll send you some new junk you'll love.
I love new junk. But I got a space heater, as people could see right behind me. That's what's glowing in the background.
Oh, you know what?
Man.
I bought one too, like a couple weeks ago, because we've been hitting like 35 degrees overnight lows, 29 it hit freezing. It was like 32, the other day.
Same here. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But we always have these by the time 5 o'clock in the afternoon rolls around, it's like 62 to 70 degrees.
Right.
And then as soon as that sun drops, it's back down, to the desert lows.
You guys have, totally different weather over there. And it's amazing we're experiencing the same thing, thousands of miles apart. Now, you didn't get hit by that Arctic blast. That just came beside you. So what are you getting hit by?
You know how it is in the wintertime. The desert just is really, really bitterly cold. It's almost like a biting cold almost, It's like 35 degrees or 29 degrees in the desert. It feels different than 29 degrees in every other place,
I just went outside to grab some packages, and I thought it was going to hit me. Like, I'm still used to living in Arizona because, it's only 39 out. And I went outside and I'm like, it's not that bad, because the humidity, it's really high. So it's been raining for 2 days and on and off today. But yeah, that humidity plays a huge factor in it.
Yeah, the last few days has been 35, and then when it was like 42, and then like at 6:30 in the morning, it's been really pretty cold lately, actually.
Yeah,
this winter.
Good. I'm glad Arizona got some cold.
But yeah, a lot of things been going on. How the sightings have picked up in certain spots and they've gone away in other spots, and some flaps are more active and other flaps have calmed down here, but here in Phoenix it's always the same pretty much.
You guys I always love the winter for UFO sightings in Arizona. Seems like the air is crisp and clear. It's different in the winter time over there.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff the last few weeks, but I haven't been able to get anything on tape. Every time I've tried to capture something, it's like disappears or goes away, or I'm not able to get it, on video. So since that last one, but I am out looking almost every couple days, on my day off, a couple times a week, and then whenever I can. And I've started actually trying to put together that new film I was talking about, actually.
And I am starting mine soon. I'm actually doing a storyboard for it, like they do, like you really do, like you write out everything, get it all out, and then I'm gonna film it the way it's written out.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And then when you get down to edit it, you find that the story it develops nicely, and then you can kind of have control of the direction that you want all the side stuff to go, and kind of boil it down and get to the nitty gritty and all that. You know how it works.
I do. And I'm asking Dark Hour Paranormal to help me. His good friend of mine, Michael Roser, who's always here, probably working right now. But I asked him to help me with this because I want it to be a good documentary, and it's going to be about my plight, my experience. And I was told, why don't do that. Nobody's going to want to see you. And I'm like, well, the Australian guy made it. What about him? That was one of the worst documentaries I've ever seen. Australian UFO wave. Jesus, that was horrible, but it did well on Netflix. I'm not saying mine's a Netflix. I want to put mine out, not on this channel, but, somewhere it won't be shadow banned. And I want to make a documentary about what I've been going through for 20 years.
Oh, yeah. That's what you got to do it the way you want to do it, because it's not going to, we did some fine, real, nice, polished stuff before and put it on YouTube. We, with interviews and stuff, documentary you would think you would see on TV, like UFOs over Phoenix Volume 3 was like that, and 2, actually 2 more so than 3, but those 2, and then after that, I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to do them the way I want. And so a lot of my documentaries have just been solely footage based, like that. How you see like the whole clip, and then all the Skywatchers are different footage. Because one of the things you always said was the thing that I decided to do on my documentaries a long time before you even said it, but it made perfect sense when you said it, and it was like, I'm vindicated of why I do the way I do it. And what you said is why is it that when we see a UFO sighting, we never see the beginning or the end? It's always just like that best part, and then you never know what happened at the beginning, or you never know what happened at the end, and that like totally discredits the whole sighting. Well, that's why on most of my documentaries, the ones that show full footage, that are basically footage documentaries and aren't made to be chock full of a bunch of interviews and junk like that.
Yeah.
It shows the full clips of the Skywatcher. It shows us like the Skywatcher's best stuff for that year or whatever, and then we move on to the next guy. And that's how like the most of my documentaries are done. And people always were like, hey, why don't you have interviews and talk and show more guys and stuff like that? Well, if you want that, watch one of my other documentaries, because that's not what these are about. These are about footage based documentaries about what is a full length clip look like, besides seeing 5 seconds of something that could be anything.
Yes, as long as that long clip is excitable. People aren't going to watch. Now that they skip over, they're going to keep skipping till they see something they like.
Yeah, that's why when you see these long clips that they're excitable for the guy that shot it, and then they're excitable for the few people that really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So it just boils down to, it's a Skywatcher video made for Skywatchers, basically.
Yeah.
It's a very niche audience type of thing. So yeah.
Oh, it is. Like very few people.
And I'm doing it for, I was just going to say, I'm doing it for the people like me that shoot the footage themselves, that want to see the clip. It's boring, just fast forward through it. It's no big deal,
Well, that's the same thing I'm doing on my other channel. Like, people want to see me argue with people, right? I go into the, but I thought the whole purpose was not to argue with people, but they only want to see you argue. And I do my job the right way, and yet nobody watches. Nobody will watch it because there's nothing happening. So even in ufology, that applies to every single thing on the internet. If it's not exciting, people aren't going to watch.
Yeah.
So how do you make a boring video exciting? Well, you don't, because what you're doing is showing the skill and how, and the ins and outs of how boring skywatching really can be, and what it takes to be dedicated to do it. A true skywatcher, a true person would love that video.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you said, they would love it. Only a few people would understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame.
And even back in the day, when I've released UFOs over Phoenix Volume 1, it was mostly a Skywatch video like that. It was like mainly like long clips and some short ones with a couple appearances of me on the TV news that I put on there.
Yeah.
And you know what? People have told me that they like that as the best one out of Volume 1, 2, and 3. And Volume 2 and 3 were polished up with the interviews and real nice. And the Volume 1 was the one with all the hardcore rock clips, and people like that more. So it's like, it's all just in your own perspective or whatever.
Yep. And times change too. Like, that may become very collectible sometime in the future.
Oh yeah,
even after you're gone.
you know, it already is. I find copies of that on the VHS version of it. I find on eBay all the time. People are trying to sell it for like $90 for like 50
What?
bucks. Yeah, yeah. And I found a couple versions of the DVD version on there too, because it switched. I was selling VHS
Right.
copies of it for like 10 years straight. So there's like they're all over the place, and then I switched it to DVD. But for a long time, I was selling the VHS. When I moved it to DVD, I was still selling the VHS and the DVD version at the same time until I totally ran out of VHSs, and then I
You had no
made it
choice.
DVD only, you know. But yeah, and they're out there, and I don't even have a copy of it, of the original VHS version. I don't even have a copy for myself. I tried to hold on to one for the longest time, and then I just sold. Someone bought it, so I sold it or I had one left at a conference, and someone wanted it real bad, so I sold it to them. But now I just have the DVD version. But yeah,
Did you catch Disclosure the other day?
a little bit of it. I saw what you sent me though about him having a tantrum about him not being the guy on when she called. You know, when she's he's Jeremy Corbell had those documents submitted, and they said the wrong guy's name.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about that, but I was talking about Disclosure. With that Jack Reacher guy. But the Jeremy Corbell thing is good. We're going to talk about that too. But
that was funny though. But because it's really
definitely
not about who did it; it's about the content of it.
Right.
The only time that would be an issue is if it was like a video of actual UFO footage that you shot, and they said someone else shot it. That way, you're not getting your intellectual credit and art, whatever. You're not being, you're the guy that your property is being stolen and being said someone else shot it. That's the only time it would matter. But if it's just a pile of documents, who cares who submits it?
I'm gonna play the clips. Let's watch it. This is the Jeremy Corbell I was told existed off camera. The entitled, selfish Californian who thinks he knows everything and gets his way with everybody.
I didn't even know he was from California, but now that you said that explains everything.
Oh my God. You could hear it in his Californian bitch accent. He is
that explains a lot though.
It does. It does. And this is not my friend. I was going to say to my friend, this is the Sneezing Monkey. If you haven't heard of him, Jeff, you need to, because this guy's really on top of shit, but he's got a different way of looking at things, and I kind of like it. Yeah, let's take a look at him. Jeremy Corbell.
Questions, okay, and I want to hear your thoughts on this down in the comment section. Leave me a comment what you think the answer is.
All right, let's get up there.
And I mean,
okay, so to preface this, Jeremy Corbell goes to a hearing or whatever, and he hands these documents over to somebody who hands them to Macy Grace or whatever her name is. What's her name? Anyway, so she takes them and reads the name of the person instead of Jeremy Corbell who handed it to her. This is from Tom Schellenberger. No, it's from Jeremy Corbell. And he loses his mind after the hearing. Why didn't she say my name? And I'm the one who gave. Well, it's not about who gave information to who. It wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Who would win, Jeremy Corbell or Dr. Stephen Greer? It's tricky, right? They're both masters of drama and being dramatic.
Yeah, true.
But in today's video, I want to underline why Jeremy Corbell deserves the title as the most dramatic ufologist. Because hiding this from us, and is that what it's about? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what Jeremy Corbell had to say.
So thank you, Mr. Schellenberger, for this information. We are all reading it in real time now. 12 pages about this
thumbnail
unacknowledged special access program that your government says does not exist.
Right, hold on. I feel like I have to explain to you guys what just happened here. Oh my God, did you see it? So we're starting off by Jeremy Corbell holding paperwork. He has these incredibly important and classified documents. He packs it himself in his little leather backpack, okay? And again, then you can see him handing them over to someone in Congress. Here he is handing them over. But what does Nancy Mace say? What does she say? She says,
So thank you, Mr. Schellenberger, for this information. We are all reading it in real time now. 12 pages about this unacknowledged special access program that your government says.
Well. It seems like the Immaculate Constellation program is not the only thing that goes unacknowledged. It's also that Jeremy Corbell is the one who submitted these documents, okay? Not Schellenberger. Nancy Mace, get it right. So Jeremy Corbell is reasonably upset. He's very, very upset about that. He has not been acknowledged. Why do they not acknowledge him? He is the important person here. Guys, he printed it out himself. His printer, it's his ink and his paper. They should acknowledge him for that.
Does not exist.
What went through my head when I heard that? About 1,000 things. I was surprised that they thought they could lie without consequence.
Who lied?
Representative Nancy Mace and maybe about 50 congressional staffers, they all lied.
Committee staff asked me to go ahead and I will do it, enter into the congressional record this 12-page document that Michael Schellenberger brought today that describes the Immaculate Constellation government program.
I submitted those 12 pages.
I love that even the producer's like, who lied?
Yeah, like he is such a little bitch to complain about something that she didn't even mean to do. You know what I mean? She just accepted the paperwork. Thank you, Michael Schellenberger. I appreciate it. And Michael Schellenberger just handed me the, emancipation count, whatever it is,
Yeah, it was just a mistake, or because she was probably just talking about him right before that, and she just thought it was him. That's just
how embarrassing for Corbell though to act this way, and for some reason I can't get rid of that video. That's weird. I'm having all sorts of weird. Oh, here we go. Now, no. Yeah.
So he thinks cover up on him.
Yes.
I think they're just because maybe he thinks that before they, right when they got the document, right before they came out, they say, well, let's purposely say that someone else gave us this document because this Corbell guy is trying to make a big name for himself because he's all on these documentaries and trying to be number one face of UFOs. So let's just throw him under the bus real quick.
Yes.
Piss him off. No.
Yeah. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. But watch what else he says.
For handing these papers
it's crazy
over,
the way he thinks.
I mean, how did they think they could lie like that and get away with it? Unbelievable.
Michael Schellenberger did not. It is immeasurably dangerous that they lied about this. And it's not for the reasons you think. Every single whistleblower that has ever come to me or George Knapp should have absolute guttural fear if they understand what's going on right now. Congress just lied to the American public.
Where was the lie?
Oh, I submitted the IC document.
Okay, cool. So at this point, I'm like, all right, he submitted it, and they didn't acknowledge him submitting it. Fair enough. And he's, that is true. It's not a lie or anything. He's speaking the truth. Apparently, they didn't acknowledge him. Even he submitted them or handed them over. But the question is, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Is it not about the contents of these Immaculate Constellation documents, the statements that this alleged whistleblower made, like the big, highly classified program that nobody knows about?
Here we
Ask
go.
Schellenberger, he'll tell you. But everybody sat there as they said he did. Why? You should ask yourself that. Why? It should be trivial.
I didn't think.
It should be trivial. It's fucking not.
Look at him. Watch this. Watch it. Temper. Baby. Watch this. Yeah.
Oh, boy. You see what I mean? No.
He's such a little baby. Look how he storms off and then he flicks his little through this place, man, like Jeff Woolwine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everybody hates me. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yay. I'm so happy that happened to such a nicer guy.
And it's almost like he's afraid the other guy's going to get all kinds of emails from everybody going, right on for submitting them documents.
Yeah.
That's the wrong guy. He's just mad that he's the other guy. acknowledged for it, you know. And
So
it's not even like it was a piece of UFO video or anything. It's just some other whistleblower's garbage, you know. That
that's
he's
it. It was
matter.
it was such a small piece and such a large thing. It really was almost insignificant. That's how little it meant.
Yeah,
Unreal, the entitlement. But that's what we have in ufology. I mean, that's from the supposed top of the chain that gives us information. I'm not saying top of the smart chain, but of the chain of information that comes down, comes from Corbell and Knapp. Half of it does. And the other half comes from, Rose Cuckold and the other people.
I don't trust anything Corbell would put forward because he doesn't have anything to lose. But Knapp, he's more of a seasoned veteran, so he has more standards, and you would think he would. But if it's already a news story, you know Knapp's going to throw it on no matter what. You know, if it was an investigative report that only they did and there was skeptical, he might sideline it because he wasn't for sure if it was real or not. Or I don't even know if he has those kind of standards. But if it is like something that's already being reported, of course they're just going to throw it on there. You know,
George Knapp's.
He still does the Las Vegas television news over there. Right? Yeah.
38 years, yeah. 40 years now, something. Yeah. George Knapp, now's the time to separate yourself from Corbell. This is the perfect time to get away from this guy who's a train wreck. Corbell brings everybody down around him. He's known for it. At least that's what I heard.
Oh, yeah.
But you see what he does. Corbell's not a quality guy. He's all about him. I wonder what would have happened if that happened to Greer. Greer would have just stood up and said, excuse me, I submitted those. Did you know I submitted those to Bill Clinton too in 92?
Yeah, exactly.
He would have stood up. I would have. Excuse me, Ms. Mace, I submitted. What are you talking about him? He's wearing a blue suit. That guy?
Yeah.
I would have stood up. I would have said something. Me. But Corbell cries about it, makes a big stink, so all the attention. But I would have just done it in a like, hey, I submitted that.
Yeah, it might make more sense doing it like that instead of thinking it's some sort of conspiracy against him or whatever.
But that's the way he thinks. You want to know why? That's what an abusive, jealous boyfriend does. He goes out and cheats on his girl, then comes home and accuses her of cheating on him. It's the same thing. He's doing it to them. He thinks, if I submitted this to everything because he's the one who actually submits hoaxes to the world. Lies, misinformation, disinformation. So naturally, he thinks that's going to happen with everybody he meets.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's that kind of situation. That's the way the brain thinks with him. That's how you know he's guilty.
Yeah, you got to watch out for some of these filmmakers claiming to be ufologists that are basically just armchair researchers that are trying to put together films to make a ton of money, and they were already rich before they even decided.
I know.
To begin with, So.
When you have money, the only thing you want next is power. John E. got it right. Yep, he's a liberal. Beep. Sorry. That explains it. I'm getting a mug delivered. It says liberal tears on it. Yeah, I drink them every morning.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, Mark Dice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, liberal. A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them are selling that. Gary Franchi, the Next News Network's got that one too. He drinks out of that cup.
Oh, he does?
When he's on the air.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
I love it. I am now rubbing it in faces because they did it to us. And, I'll get over it. Eventually,
but with them doing this wasn't even merited because it was all lies.
Yeah, I know. Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, at least we're legit.
At least it's legit over here, Wow.
So, did you see that egg-shaped thing the other day?
Yeah, I did see that.
You did?
And I did. I didn't think it was miniatures or anything because.
Okay. It may not. I don't think it was. Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't think is because right before it hits, you see. Well, I mean, maybe you saw it the whole time around as it was lowered, but you can see a shadow on the right-hand side on the ground that looked pretty legitimate. So if you watch the video, if we're gonna do that, you'll see that. You said that they're getting mad at people watching it. I don't know what they're doing that for.
Oh, well, we could play that.
Yeah,
I played the entire video.
Oh, okay. Well, you could see the shadow on the ground, which looks pretty much checks out. For a miniature, it's going to be very hard to duplicate that.
Huh.
You'll see what I'm talking about because I look at everything when I've seen this video, and the smoothness of that object and the object itself reminded me of so many things I've taped just like that up in the sky. Just like it had to have been real to me. It was just everything checked out too good.
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it's too good to be true, but I don't know. It's fun. It's fun.
I'm not saying it's too good to be true. It might be very well be true, but then again, it might be something that we don't know it is. Like it could be a military project or something like that. We don't even know what's going on here, but it could be UFO. Sure.
I don't think so.
Well, if that's another thing. If the contractor's story checks out, if he's supposed to be if this is supposed to be, the military does contract out certain contractors to do top secret work, so that way they're sworn to secrecy and all that good stuff. But it could go either way,
So this is, remember Lonnie Zamora, right? 1960 something.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was the I forget what place that was, but was it New Mexico? I think. Yeah, that's the egg shape.
Yeah,
he said it.
And I've taped stuff that looked just like that.
So
for years, So
Jeff, I have a video, and I call it the football, and it's an amazing video. That I saw this object just by chance. What happens? It's a football, right? It looks like a football. This is the clearest video I have, probably. And all of a sudden, something comes out from behind. It swirls, and then it goes back in and closes up again.
Oh yeah, these are just these are basically the same things that were seen in World War I with the Foo Fighters.
Oh, really. Right, that's right, the Foo Fighters.
And not only that, the guy, whoever the producers or the writers or the people that made Mork from Ork, he comes out of an egg.
Oh, that's right. The
egg. They already knew what was going on, for years.
So you know what Nanu is backwards? on. Oh no, it's on an. Yeah, that would be no. It would be no then. Yeah, so it's Nanu. So it's ONAN on an.
But depending on who says it, if you record it and play it backwards, it might be a reverse speech to whoever, it might say different stuff no matter depending on who says it.
Yes.
So there you go.
I love how words can sound so differently. That's why we get a lot of songs wrong. I thought Third Phase of Moon had the actual egg-shaped thing here. That's why I'm here. I guess it was the next day. That's why I'm using their stuff here.
It's our play.
So I thought they had it. No, this is the remote viewing. Now they made a movie about with the original remote viewing guys. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's on their channel. I forget the name of it. They're gonna kill me. But what a great movie they made with the original guys who were in the original remote viewing program.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's crazy.
There was a few of them that were like Ed Dames, and there was a few of them. But then they're the ones that were actually in the CIA. Some of them were on Art Bell. A few of them were on there back in the day. But yeah.
What the hell, man? Why can't I find the egg-shaped thing?
Someone else probably posted it on there because they probably figured out the same thing that you did when you played the clip from New Nation. They might have got a copyright claim, so they probably just hacked that one little scene out and threw it up on there.
I guess so. Something I told you. Here it is. News Nation. See, these are all News Nation. I'm telling you, they came after me. I'm pissed off.
That's crazy. That doesn't even make sense.
No.
Yeah, isn't there that code that you could play news
tonight?
Clips?
Yeah, but I played news clips, but I don't think News Nation is like CBS or ABC or NBC.
Well, the reason why they don't care is because they're just happy that someone's actually watching it.
Yeah, I guess.
Because on the television, people turn that channel off. So
Yep.
Most
feet
people.
long. The egg
Okay,
suspended
you see
in
the
a
shadow?
condom. And
Yeah.
look how careful.
This here?
Yeah. It's pretty. I mean, for the distance of where it's supposed, like, how long was the
Yeah.
rope? Like about maybe 100 yards, maybe. I mean,
Oh,
about a
maybe.
football field, maybe 2.
It looks like it could be 2 to 6 inches for all I know. It's hard to tell.
The pilot
But-
is
but,
as they
But
I was
Jeff,
gonna
you
say
can
that-
fake this easily. You just have a light over here somewhere in the top left.
Yeah.
And there you
but
go.
why-
It's
But one thing, why is it so? Is this shot at night, or it looks night?
Yes.
Like it's been, yeah. Okay. So
see now. Oh, okay. Why did you ask that question? Because it looks like it might have been done during the daytime, right?
Because it looks like it's shot through like an infrared, like it's using night shot is why.
That's right.
the
During
crane-
the day.
Or during the night. I mean, I'm not, depending on how far down that is, because your distance of your night shot only has a certain range. So, but then
Well,
the
no-
shadow, it looks weird. I mean, what I was gonna say is, of course, if something is gonna happen like this, of course you're gonna want to do it at night, right? So that kind of checks out. But then on the other thing, the second thing that crossed my mind is why wouldn't you put this thing on a flatbed and throw some tarps over it and use a military trucks or something? Why wouldn't you do it by ground? But then I thought, well, maybe if it is a UFO, you might want to do it by helicopter to keep it off the road too. So there's a lot of different things going on here that brings up all kinds of questions and answers. So.
Jeff, do you remember this? Do you remember the story I told everybody? I don't know if you heard it, about the UFO that was taken out of my parents' backyard.
Yes, vaguely. That was a long time ago.
In 2005, my parents moved into a home. Now, the reason I'm telling you this, because it might tell you why they didn't bring in beds and trucks, because they couldn't get there by then. Maybe they could have lowered them down, but how do they get out? No.
Well, the other thing that I was just going to quickly say,
yeah.
the Kecksburg incident was another reason why I thought maybe they'd do it by helicopter, because when they did it in the Kecksburg, they threw it on a flatbed and they almost ran some people over that were trying to block the truck, and because the townspeople wanted to know what it was, and the truck like nearly flattened people. They were not going to stop. So.
I understand that, but they had a road to get there. There's no roads in this area, allegedly.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents see a light about 200 yards away from their home in the bush. And, Arizona has all those desert bushes, all over the place with the thorns in them.
Yeah.
Those kind, whatever those are, they turn into
the dust bunny things, or the dust, the bushes.
The things that tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
They turn into tumbleweed when they die. All right. So another week goes by, and this is in August. They moved in, and I go over there on a Thursday, and Sunday that was the schedule we would keep. So I go there Thursday, and my mother goes, "Hey, the light's getting brighter," and I'm like, "What? That light over there?" She's like, "Yeah." It was during the day when I got there, so at night I see a light that's in the bush, and it is brighter than the last week I was there. Mm-hmm. So I go there Sunday, and it's even brighter. And then in September, I get there, and my father, the first thing he tells me, he goes, "You're not going to believe how bright the light is." I mean, he didn't even say hi or anything. And I'm like, "Oh yeah," because he knows I'm into UFOs at that time. So I brought my camera over, and I actually have a recording of it. And I did satellite image on it and everything. There's nothing I can see there, but there was a light that was so bright. I'm like, I got to go there. Yeah. And I planned on going there the next day with boots and stuff, because the terrain was so bad. You can't go down there unless you had on the right gear. Snakes, all sorts of thorns. I mean, bad. It's bad. It's the desert.
Yeah.
So I get a call at 3 a.m. "Richie, what? What's going on?" "The helicopters, they're pulling the light out of the ground." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, there's Chinook helicopters. For how many? How many? Four helicopters are out there. They're pulling it out. Can you see it from where you live?" Because they lived on the mountain at Pinnacle Peak. and where Troon is, and I lived in Chandler. So there was a good possibility I could have seen it 44 miles away, but I didn't. And he goes, the helicopters, there it goes, and I can hear the background, the helicopters. He said the army came. It was the army. They came with men. They got all up along the border where all the houses were, and they were telling everybody who was coming out of their homes at that time to stay back, don't come out, nothing to worry about. But what the fuck did they take out of the ground at 3:15 in the morning? Holy shit. It's like, Dad, did you get it on video? Please tell me. No, we couldn't get that in time. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I think after I remember that story, and what was weird about that is after you told me that story, I told you about something that was very weird, because I was being contacted from a guy that said that he had a vantage point in Scottsdale where you look down at like a cliff down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said at 3 a.m. that UFOs would come down from the space, from the sky, and go and land into the spot. And he wanted to take me there.
What?
And he said that, that pull-off spot on.
That's the overlook on the way to Fountain Hills. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, down there,
Shea Boulevard. Yeah.
He said that UFOs would come and land there almost at least twice a week, and he wanted to take me there. And then he said he was in the military, and it was totally legit. It sounded totally legit, and we were going to do it. And and something came up where I just lost contact with him.
Yeah.
And I lost his email and phone number and stuff like that. And we just somehow over the years, he stopped contacting me. But he contacted me 3 times, and we were going to do it. And then
why didn't you just go?
It was weird because it was a weird time. It was just one of those things where the timing was just bad.
One day.
Yeah.
4 hours. I know it's a 40-minute drive for you to get there, but still.
Yeah. I don't even know what was going on at the time.
But that's amazing. Do you know what they did now? What makes sense? That used to just be desert. Nothing was there.
Yeah.
And they were going to build homes down there. Oh, no. A contractor, somebody came in and said, we're putting a golf course instead. They don't want people living under there for some reason. At night, nobody's there. It's a golf course. Nobody's going to be there. So the UFOs can come and do whatever they want still.
Yeah, there's something going on that's a flap. There's a flap that's been going on there.
Damn it. There could be an entrance that's on that cliff that we don't know about.
It could be. That could be it too. Yeah. It could be.
Damn. Got to get some LiDAR checks on that and see what it looks like underneath. Dude, you got a project. I can't wait to see it in your next movie.
Okay, that's it. I got to come down there and check it out. Yeah, and another thing is when you get emails from people and that they don't want you. Well, I don't even remember if he gave me his phone number or not. I can't remember. It was a while back. But when you get emails from people that claim to all kinds of weird stuff and they want to go out with you in the middle of the night somewhere or something, it's it's very sketchy, or whatever.
You don't. Yeah, you bring other people with you.
You don't even know this person, really.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's happened.
Yeah, it happens all the time. There's this one guy that I got to know for a while that was a security guard that I trust or whatever, that he always wanted to go out and stuff like that. Skywatching with me, but he's always talking about bringing all kinds of ammo and guns and all this weapons and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you don't need that. If you show up with that, the UFOs aren't even going to show up.
They won't even come close. No.
So, you can't,
There's a reason they don't come close, because we got the cameras. They're a little sketch with the camera waves that we're sending out. So they know we're recording. They know the frequency of our cameras already. All right. So check this out. So there's your egg. There's our egg, Jeff. There's it right there. It's beautiful. It's clean. It could be real. And then let me just show you the video. This comes from Drone Aviation Corp. Now, they shut down the day after.
That doesn't look like it, though.
No, we're not there. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. These are just examples. You'll see. You'll see. Here we go. There we go. Oh, there's another one. Oh, look at that. It's the same exact thing. And you can shoot at them and they don't. It's amazing. Anyway, and it inflates in 20 minutes. Now, this is just one of the versions, but
if it was that, then why would you need a helicopter to drop it off?
No, well, they send it away. It's a balloon. It goes to places where other people can't go.
Yeah,
And then
that's
it
what I'm
lands
saying.
somewhere else.
But why? That's what I'm saying. Why would you need to wrap it up and drop it down from a helicopter, or like tow it from a helicopter? You would just deflate it, and then
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
the video that shows the UFO being dropped down onto the ground.
Yeah.
It couldn't be this because they would just deflate the. They would just deflate it. Why would they?
They're a helicopter. They're not going down there. According to the guys in the helicopter, that is high level stuff, and they're not going to be able to get down and shimmy down that pole or that rope. And besides, these people are on a road. They release it, then the other team goes and picks it up in the helicopter because it landed somewhere it shouldn't have.
No, I got you, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look the same to me.
No, of course this doesn't look exact. Take off the white lines and paint it white, and you got what we, you know what I mean? I mean, there's more than one version.
Yeah.
And this is pretty darn close. I mean, that's it right there. I mean, there it is again. It's just cinched up.
But is it remote control and you can fly it around?
We don't even know if this egg is remote control and flies
That's what
around.
I'm saying. Like, why would they need to pick it up anywhere? Why don't they just fly it back to wherever they're supposed to, like, have it and land it in the field
Because
where they let it go, you know?
I'll answer that question because it's a balloon and it doesn't have a motor and it flew up to a certain height and then it lost its drive, its helium, whatever the hell, and then it comes down after 300 hours or whatever.
Well, see, that's how the NASA balloons did it, and then they would deflate and fall with the little box. But then if that happened, then why is it still inflated then?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. A great question. Maybe it's not fully deflated, or maybe there is a motor on it, and heck, I don't know.
Or maybe they leave enough helium in it for them to see it, like deflates enough to fall. And then once it gets down to the ground, it just has that little amount in it to keep it so they can see where, bubble, it'll be visible better.
Or maybe there's GPS attached to it somehow.
Yeah. Oh, of course they would. Then they wouldn't even need to be, like I said, it wouldn't need to be inflated because they would already have that data anyways, unless they're driving through cornfields with high stalks and they couldn't really see it and they needed to have to be puffed up a little bit over the top to like perfectly see exactly where it is, because maybe the GPS isn't going to be exactly to the square inch, who knows?
It'll be close enough that a helicopter would be able to see it. Here's five pound
helicopter, of course, but if you're like looking for it any other way, you're not. But then why, you wouldn't need it to be inflated like that.
I don't know. The good questions you brought up some things I didn't even think of. That was a great question. I don't know. That's good question. Why would it still be inflated if it's fallen out of the sky?
And another thing is if it was like the ones you just showed me that were like balloons, like obviously balloons. Why would they just be white? Why wouldn't they just to separate them from all the different ones to know that it's actually a balloon? Why would they put like a blue stripe across it or like their company insignia on it, like a patch or something?
Well, allegedly there is writing on, and I'm trying to show it to you. There is writing on this. Somebody said that they found. I haven't had a chance to look at the research yet that somebody sent me.
Because if it's truly alien or these orbs or these objects we're filming, that they don't have any insignia or any stripes. They're just a solid egg-looking thing, like this thing, like what you see here, without zooming in and seeing any writing or anything like that. So yeah.
So Jeff, here's a really important question from Chick High for the £5 £5 super chat question. If the egg footage is filmed from a helicopter, where's the wind from the rotors? Every time I've seen a video where they're picking up something or dropping it off, there's always rotor wash or the wind. There's nothing here.
Yeah, that looks like, and I can't even tell if those little things on the ground are like little bushes or clumps of grass, or is it like a dirt field, or like what is even going on down there? I can't even figure it out. So
That's what
And then
everybody's asking.
And you're not going to see a lot of wind on the ground depending on how high up that rope is. I mean, it doesn't look very far.
I don't think they would be that high. They'd have to have some, because the higher it is, the more impossible it would be to get.
Yeah, the rope would have to be down real long, and besides that, if it's out in the middle of nowhere at night, you don't need to be that high. You just lower it down, like not even that high. So I don't know. And then the sound is all cut off, so you can't hear it.
Yeah.
You can't see. I mean, and besides that, if it's a military helicopter, a lot of those helicopters are stealth copters, and they don't put out a lot of sound or wind to begin with. You know, they're new technology where, it's a little bit different than a regular helicopter.
Well, they have quieter blades, but I don't know about where they push the wind. But there would still be a wave 30 miles an hour at least coming down from that helicopter.
And if that is the case on this video, you will see that rope will be moving a little bit back and forth.
Means propulsion.
Yeah, let's see.
To see inside. Watch how it rolls, almost graceful as it hits the ground.
Well, now that's right when it hits.
Wrapped in the ropes and
the rope is being pushed to the left.
The UAP
or the helicopter is moving to the left.
Or it's moving, yeah. And I do not see. As far as stuff on the ground, did you see anything moving or
nothing? Not even a whistle.
And so all that stuff could be rocks. That could be gravel down there for all we know.
You would still see the dirt on the dirt, because I'm sure there would be dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing.
And you don't see that. So
you don't see a damn thing, which is weird.
I don't know. At this point now, I don't know what we're looking at here.
Watch the rest. It's very interesting. It all is. Great questions, too. I didn't think of that. But thank you, Chikai, for the £5, £5. I also saw a few other questions. What about the odd from Sal from SoulCal says, hey, yo, GUFON, what about the odd Egyptian glyphs on the egg shape they found in a can in a cave? I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know anything about that either, but the Kecksburg UFO had the glyphs on it as well.
There's so many fakes out there,
they didn't
too.
match any. They said that the glyphs, they didn't match any Egyptian glyphs. That they were it was its own writing of sorts. Like, of course, they look Egyptian, but they're not. It's something else. Of course, if it's an alien writing, like Chinese writing could look like glyphs. You don't know. I mean, it's pictures. The pictures, the drawings.
Yeah, of course I do. It's awful. I don't know how anybody would want to learn all that.
Exactly. It's the same thing. It's the stuff written on a cave. If you would translate it into that language, you would know what it said, but it doesn't match. So it's different. Same thing with the alien stuff. I mean, or whatever, It could be similar looking, but not the same,
Yeah, you're right. I get you. Yeah, and David Wilcox, not Wilcox, says the electronics are on the inside. All right. I mean, yeah, I guess they probably would be to protect them, but it's all interesting. I do not see alien. That's all.
And another thing that bothers me, if the whole thing was real and it was just a balloon being dropped down or whatever, then why is this guy going to try to make it out to be a UFO alien, a UAP, like an event? It's like, it's like you're not even going to release your name. You're to go with the video. You're just
his name. Oh, that guy. Yeah, the guy who shot the video.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you turning it into something that's not? Unless you're purposely just wanting to put another hoax out there, And if you're a contractor and you're shooting this thing, it would seem like you would have better things to do with your time than pretend that this is a alien UFO event and throw it out there on the internet and play hoaxes and games when you're like a grown man. It sounds like you would have better things to do if you're a contractor,
Maybe the guy isn't ready to come out. He could still be employed by the government, but the government knows who it is. We just don't.
Yeah, and if that's the whole case, then he's really, saying this is a real UFO incident, because he's not going to risk his life and his job over a freaking balloon. You know, I mean, come on, dude.
Or
There's
Jeff,
people out there.
but there's disinfo agents that work for
yeah.
the government that do this on purpose to throw off the scent.
Oh yeah, of course.
What has been going on for the last 3 months? Drones everywhere.
Yeah, and
right?
Trump's supposed to say what all that was now.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah, but
still finding out.
Yeah.
So he's still looking. Rich.
But yeah, there's so many things that could be going on here. Exactly. Like you're saying. I'm trying to think of it as common sense, but a lot of times that doesn't work now. So, I mean, you have to think outside the box in all types of different ways now. So, yes.
And maybe, like Nathan said, maybe a hoax is part of the contract, Jeff. Right? You know?
That could be. Yeah, that's very well true. It could be. I mean, look at the moon landing. I mean, the guys are still, there's 12 people that walked on the moon. I mean, now if we can get all 12 of them together in the same room, minus the ones that are dead already, you think we can get some answers out of these 12 guys?
I remember this, Sal. I remember that. I think that was deemed a hoax, but I could be wrong. There's so many things. Yeah, and that Antarctica. I didn't think it was Antarctica. I thought it was in Belize, but I don't know, somewhere in South Brazil. All right. Well, I'll have to look into that. If you find any links to it, you know, send away to gufonradio@gmail.com. Thanks, Sal, from SoCal. Yeah, so no disclosure happened. But, Jeff, they're talking about that guy, Jack Reacher, who came out. I call him Jack Reacher. His name's Jack Barber, or Jake Barber. Jack Reacher's Tom Cruise in the movie. Jack Reacher, who's an agent for the, the government. So anyway, I call this guy Jack Reacher. But he talked about how when he was on his way with one of these items, not the egg, because he's supposedly part of the crash retrieval team that goes out and gets this high-tech, high-value stuff that could or could not be alien. So he said when he was on his way, 20 miles to go by himself, he was overwhelmed with this feeling that something invaded his mind, body, and soul. He said that. And he was connected with the most beautiful and scary, but beautiful, calming. What he said was like the spirit of God, but had a feminine quality to it. Jeff, we talk about all the time, you and I, we've talked about this on the show, how we felt like we needed to go outside and record at this time, or we felt like we needed to keep looking over there, even though it's been 3 hours, we're going to keep looking over there. And then something happened. Do you believe that? Have you ever had that connection where you felt something invade your body, mind, and soul while you're skywatching? But have you ever felt it, period?
Yeah, I felt it before.
How many times? When was the first time?
Probably the first time I think was when I was probably like 6 years old, when I first had my first interaction.
So they came to you basically, obviously, you're 6.
Yeah.
And you felt that was it like a white light, or what did you feel, see? Explain a little bit so we all understand that feeling.
It was kind of like the only way I can describe it is when you see something for the first time, or feel like something that you, for the first time, like some type of out of the ordinary experience type of thing,
Like you felt like you weren't in your own body?
No, I felt like I was being introduced to something that I shouldn't be able to see or feel, type of thing.
As a 6-year-old, you're very impressionable at that age, with TV and everything. I mean, we're close to the same age, so I know what you were watching. But so you're saying something connected with you, and were you asleep, or what were you doing?
No, I was awake, but what I'm trying to say is like it connects on a more than just a physical level, like a mental like you're able, like with the telepathy, how you are connected in with the, like, how you hear these stories where they can read your mind and then you can hear what they're saying or whatever. There's like there's like a connection there that's different than a normal experience. And plus, you're introduced into surroundings that aren't normal to like what you're supposed to be experiencing. Like,
wait, you're seeing this?
Okay, so like what happened was, as I've said it before on the show, but I'll just say it again. Okay.
Yeah.
So so people know what the heck I'm talking about. So like my parents put me to bed and I was lying in bed and the door was cracked open a tiny bit.
All right.
And the lights are off, right? Okay, like about, I'd say not very long, like within like 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that, So I wasn't asleep. I was totally awake. And so all of a sudden, I'm feeling somebody is holding my hand all of a sudden. Like I'm laying in bed and all of a sudden something's like grabbing my hand. And that's where what you just said, the female, you have a feel of like a loving, nice, like energy feeling that is like has a feminine feeling kind of to it, like a more, or maybe that's not even what you want to call it. Maybe a loving, more gentle type of a.
You can tell the difference between a man hand and a woman hand too. So yeah, exactly. For sure. But, yeah.
Of course, but you couldn't tell though. That was.
I got you. Yeah, you just felt what it was.
It was an energy, more or less.
All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Other than the physical hand, you could feel the physical hand there, of course, but then there was energy coming with it, and then all of a sudden, like I'm getting like. Now the confusion sets in here. You're like, what is this? Like, who is this? Like, and then you start trying to come up with answers. Like, could this be my mom? No, she's out there. And then she walks by the door, like a shadow of her walks by the door outside doing something.
Yeah.
And I knew that now who the heck is this? She's out there. Who is still holding my hand? So I knew that's not her. So who is this person or feeling or energy or whatever? And as soon as I thought to myself, well, the light is right here by my hand. I could just reach over and click the switch on the lamp and find out who this is right now. And so I did it. I reached over and grabbed it, turn on the light. And as soon as I did that, it was nothing. The pressure was gone. Nothing was there. Everything was gone instantly. Okay. So, and then everything went back to normal, like the surroundings, like the electricity wasn't in the air. You felt the connection between whatever this was and you is gone now, and the electricity's gone. Everything is like back to normal type of thing. It's almost like a dream state, almost, but not like I don't even want to say dream state because that's not legitimate. It's not even the way to describe it. But it like kind of like a different, kind of like just a different, stage. Like I can't, like the only thing I can think of is not hypnosis or anything, but like a different altered state of reality or something that this thing introduces when it comes into play.
Could it have been a mental projection, as Nathan's pondering?
No, it wasn't a mental.
Well, you were only 6, so at 6 you didn't have much.
It was physical, completely 100%.
Wow.
100%.
Okay. So then after that, did it happen frequently after?
After that, I started experiencing even more weird stuff. I started having those things I was telling you about where I would be lying in my bed and all of a sudden I'd like, now this sounds totally crazy. Even to me saying it doesn't sound crazy. But I like maybe 6 or 7 years old, like get lifted off of my bed a little bit, like a little bit above it, and then start spinning around and then up through the ceiling, up into the sky, onto like an invisible platform floating real slowly over the city like that. And sometimes it would stop. And when it stopped, I felt like I was just going to fall all the way down. And then it would start going again. So when it started going, I felt better.
Yeah, I've had that.
And then when it was all over, it would come right over my house. And then I would drop back down, spin back into the bed. And then right when I got into the bed,
Hey, Jeff?
I would get up and I'd tell my parents that this happened.
Hold on. I don't want to alarm you, but behind you, over your right shoulder, I see a Head and Shoulders in the curtain, that green. Do you see it?
Oh, that's not. You know what no, that's not. No worries. No worries.
Oh man, I thought an alien was appearing on that green thing back there, whatever that is. Yeah.
No, that's.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I don't. You know what? It's just a.
It's on the curtain itself. It's on the thing itself.
Yeah, you know what's weird about that is there's nothing back there. All that I see that.
You see it, right?
I see that, but there's nothing there.
No, I know, but don't you think it's embedded on the cloth, like it came as a print on the cloth?
That's weird.
What?
I'm looking there, and there's nothing there.
Wow! But
I see it here, but I don't see it here.
That's crazy.
There's like nothing there.
I don't get it.
My wife is in the room in the same room, but she's asleep on the bed back
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's not her. That's just a weird.
Wow, that is so weird.
That's weird. That's bizarre. I don't know. Maybe there's.
I just noticed it. Like
invisible alien standing there, and I don't know.
You're gonna pull another Stan Romanek on us.
It's weird, but no. See.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's crazy. But it's not the cloth. I think it's on the cloth. You just can't see it in this frequency. Get it?
Could be. Yeah.
So this guy explained exactly what I was thinking what would have happened to you. And it's just, it's just a feeling you're having. You know what it is. You just can't see it, but you know it's feminine. Have you ever feel like it guided you your whole life? Let me rephrase that. Have you noticed it's with you your whole life, or is it come and go?
It's with you your whole life, but the thing of it is you have stronger ties sometimes. Like if it's like less than other ties, like, and a bunch of like weird stuff happens, like like stuff that would never happen to a normal guy, like a normal person, like like for instance, like I shoot like a guy like me that shoots UFO videos all the time and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of us out there that shoot like clip after clip after clip, or whatever. Or maybe that's probably wrong. There's probably not a lot of us out there that shoot clip after clip after clip. But there was kind of a fad. Like we brought a fad in, and people started doing it more than others. Then when people saw us doing it, they started doing it, right? But they weren't the originals. They weren't the ones that were hitting it. But like it's weird because when you're younger, you have like almost. See, I knew this sounds bizarre. This might sound totally weird to you, but I was on my video footage, and I was on the Dan Aykroyd Unplugged on UFO DVD.
You were on that? I have that.
Yeah, my footage is all over that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I was like 6 or 7 years, it was weird. When I was like 7 or 8, I'd say more like 7 or 8. For some reason, when I was like 7 or 8 or 9, I just like started hearing about Dan Aykroyd on, Saturday Night Live or movies or whatever. For some reason, every time I heard his name, I knew I had a connection with that guy. So for some reason, I knew that. And all these years later, my videos are on that DVD. And when it happened, when they called me and said, "Yeah, we want your videos for the Dan Aykroyd thing," I was like, "How did I know this was going to happen?" Like all these years ago.
Yeah.
Or that there was some connection. I didn't know how it was going to happen or what it was about, but I would be connected somehow to it. And the same thing with that. Remember in the 70s that movie Witch Mountain?
Yeah.
From
of course.
Well, I was sitting in the movie theater watching that in like 1977 or whatever, 1978, whenever it happened. And I remember feeling a connection to that. And I didn't know how or why, but I did. And then all those years later, they called me and said, "We're going to do a remake on the Witch Mountain, and we're going to call it Race to Witch Mountain with The Rock. We want your video footage for the opening segment of the film." And I thought, there it is again. I had that connection.
Wow.
And I thought I've had that before. So you almost are seeing or feeling the future of what you're coming towards, like your your fate or your path or whatever. You kind of feel it along the way of where it's leading you or where you're going, but you see it before it happens, almost like the big events, and like Art Bell, even thing I listened to Art Bell for in 1993, I started listening to like Dreamland with Art Bell. And then I started listening to Coast to Coast, but I had already been filming UFOs or seeing them and taking pictures of them for a long time before I started listening to that.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I started listening to it, I thought to myself, if one of these days, I think I'm going to probably be on the show. And I was on it like 3 times. Like
I
once
couldn't believe that.
Yeah, once with Linda Howe as a recording, and the next time with actually Art Bell on the air
Yeah.
talking to him, and the third time with George Norris. So it was, and then I was even on with when he went off the air and he had the fill-in host when he had his different shows like Dark
Matter. Yeah.
And
Dark Matter, yeah, right.
And Midnight in the Desert.
I was part of that.
Yeah, they had some.
I came on right after Jimmy Church.
Right. And that doesn't exist anymore. The Dark Matter Digital Network with Keith Rowland as the hub thing.
That's right, Keith.
It's all gone now, but it was fun while it lasted.
It was, though. But, we're just looking for a home where we can be heard. We just want to get the message out there. And YouTube came along and changed all of that.
Yeah.
So, as much as we complain, we have to thank YouTube, of course, for this platform.
Yeah.
But it also ruined ufology at the same time because people think things are UFOs when they're not, and other people think the opposite. It's never going to be the same. Nothing's ever going to be 100% anyway.
Yeah, and for me, I was always driven by the video footage. Like I need to shoot more. The next, like every time I was on a new TV program, it was like need to shoot more footage so I can get on the next one with more footage, with better footage, or or a new look of whatever is flying around that we're getting on tape.
Have you ever been to Florida?
I was when I was like a baby.
Oh,
I don't
it's
remember.
horrible for skywatching unless you go to the coastlines. It's terrible. You can't see outside your little perimeter of trees. It's terrible. So it sucks to skywatch out here. It really does, unless you're by the coast. And that's why everybody goes to the Gulf of America, hence the Gulf Coast sightings. But
that's kind of. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Washington State is the same way. They got a lot of trees and there's no visibility, but it's weird when you look on the reporting centers. They're one of the states that has the most UFO sightings. But like,
imagine
once they get below the tree line, then people can't see them no more.
But imagine if those trees weren't there. Maybe they'd have to hide a little better. But nonetheless, they get a lot. So does Florida. Florida gets a ton of UFO sightings. Tons.
Yeah, and well, flaps don't ever go away. They just get less. Like the Gulf Breeze sightings, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
It got really diminished, but it never.
I was going to say that.
It really goes away. It never does.
I was going to say it's still going on because people have invited me there to go there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go to Gulf Breeze. It's too far. It's 4-hour drive, man.
Yeah, and that was one of my ideas for a show is that I want to go visit all the hot spots that are current and the ones that have diminished because, you go to all the real strong, heavy ones that are happening right now and then visit all the older ones that have diminished a little bit because they really never go away. You can always, see them even with Gulf Breeze, like you said,
It is amazing.
I guarantee you, if you spend 6 nights at Shoreline Park, you're going to see one sighting at least. Like an hour at Shoreline Park for every night for 6 nights, you're going to see one.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure you would.
I mean, but back in the day, it would be every day.
Maybe, yeah.
But you're going to. But now you'll maybe you'll see one. It just takes a little time. That's all. That, like I said, the flaps never go away for good.
I also believe some people have, and this is not even, people don't take eyesight into consideration. They always think you're just going to stand next to somebody and see the same thing. You're not. When I got into this, Jeff, I had the LASIK surgery and my vision was 2015 for years. And for years, I had excellent vision because you have to go back to the doctor to make sure the surgery took. So I had to go 6 times back to see him for 6 months, and my vision stayed. Then I saw him 2 years later. I was just there. He looked at him. Yeah. And still 2015. I would have people right next to me looking up at the sky. I go, it's right there. And they're like, I don't see it. I go, look in the camera lens. And they go, whoa, I don't see that. I go, how do you not see it?
Yeah.
So your eyesight comes into play more than anything else, more than the camera. People don't know that. And I think you have to have a frequency set to be one of those people who is allowed to capture stuff on a regular. Don't you believe that? That's what I was.
Yeah.
getting to is that our frequency makes us who we are.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's a lot of people that just can't see them, and
Right.
like, you know, a lot of people think that that anybody can see a UFO or whatever, and you would want to think that, but no,
don't
they
think
can't.
so.
Not everybody can. Like they can. Like
I think they
unless
can see.
really, unless it just shows up and they're meant to see it, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They were with somebody else who was meant to see it.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to see it. They're going to see it if they're with you or, you know, me maybe. But
Yeah.
that is
I teach
interesting.
people- I've taught people how to see them.
Yeah.
A few times, and they see them, and then they're able to see them right after that. Then they see them all the time. Right after,
Yeah, yeah.
now they can see them everywhere. After that, they can find them. So yeah, that's what it takes. You got to have some training.
I don't know if they're everywhere, but you know, you see them a lot more. You see them a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, I wanted to ask you now, because the frequency thing. When was the last time you had with the frequency?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say when we were talking about that earlier, I was gonna say, something that is similar to that when you get the chills and the hair stand up on your arm and your back of your neck or whatever. That's almost the same thing, almost,
It
but
is.
it's a different frequency there. That's different.
That's a little,
But
yeah.
But it's the same thing, almost like if you're trying to record EVPs in a graveyard, and then all of a sudden it happens, you start getting there's something here, you know.
I think that's the adrenaline as well, because that's what happens with apes. Their hair stands on edge when their adrenaline goes, makes them look bigger. That's just like part of it, but I'm not saying it's all the time. But when there's a real frequency around, it does that, like static electricity without the static.
Because you feel it, and then
You feel it.
and then the hair on your arm stand up.
It's a different feeling. Yeah,
it's
weird.
Here, why is this happening? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you understand static. That I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, there's an energy to it. Last time it happened was, yeah, that's a good question. I can't even really remember. Really, it would have to. Oh, you know what? I do remember. It was when I woke up one morning and after an incident where that I was telling you about, where the right side, my left leg, the right side of it, all the hair was gone. And I had that weird feeling, like when I saw it, I looked at it and I knew exactly what had happened, and I felt that, like the energy was still there, like trying to confirm that what I was thinking was what happened, type of thing.
Have you ever shown up with indentations on your body?
Yeah.
I have too, and I have pictures I'm going to show people real soon about what happened that I was never going to show anybody. It's pretty bad. It looks like I got burned, and according to a doctor, I did.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that amazing? In my sleep, Jeff, I was burned with this. You should see this thing. It looks like I did it, and I didn't. But why would I do it? It's
I've had a lot of physical things on wake up, things like that.
Really?
Sure.
God, dude, oh, good. Okay, I thought because dude, it hasn't happened since, but it's like I was marked.
It's part
on
of
my
the
shoulder.
It's definitely part of the phenomenon.
Second degree burn.
Now, what it was, basically what they did is they did some sort of sample on you. Like they took, like in order to get that sample, they had to do that.
I
I
don't know, man.
It's
Dude,
weird.
it hurt for days. Like it hurt for a week.
You know, it's so bizarre of what's going on to abductees and the experiments that they do.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre and so weird that we have no clue. We have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, it's getting some people, like they have really bad experiences like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought maybe I rolled over, right? And maybe I leaned on something overnight, but I had to sleep on my back. And for 2 days, I didn't do anything. It just kept, like my shirt kept touching it and it hurt. Yeah. And then I went to go look at it for once after just, a couple of days, and it was bad. And I went to the doctor. Yeah. Really weird shit like that. See, that's why I'm in this field. There's stuff I haven't really told everybody, told about myself to everybody. Some of it, it's like you don't believe yourself. Like Am I losing my mind? Did I dream? What am I doing?
Yeah, if there wasn't physical evidence, we wouldn't have anything to go on. So yeah, we see the changes in the physical evidence. We know there's something happening, of course.
But why am I not frightened to death? Why am I not scared to go to sleep every night? I don't give a shit. I go right to bed like it's nothing. I should be scared.
It's probably programmed into our DNA as the recognition
You got the answer.
Of a higher intelligence that we can't be afraid of. So.
That's why I love having you here, man. You got me again. That's a couple of times tonight you thought of something I couldn't, and that makes sense. I'm programmed to accept it.
Exactly.
Basically. Oh my God, I don't like that at all.
Not to be afraid of them, but we're programmed to be afraid of everything else. See?
Yes.
That's why we know it's a program. Like you'd be programmed if you were getting your money from a bank and a bank robber came in.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
But
that is so amazing.
Show up, it's like, and wasn't that the thing they always tell people in abductions? Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, all that.
We're not going to hurt you. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
It's already engraved in the DNA. Plus they have to add a little of their, soothing voice.
Yeah. Well, that female comes in and you feel like a mother presence. It does calm you. You know, when I'm sick, I call my mom. If she talks and is there, it does feel better.
Yeah, and how the heck does it? And that's the same story that Calvin Parker said. Like, like in my, like Calvin Parker was saying, yeah, we heard a female voice saying, keep calm, keep calm. Well, how's he supposed to keep calm when the thing rammed its fingers up his nose and stuck the other one down the back of his throat? Like, keep calm, we're just ripping you inside out.
Do you know I had a dream like that happened to me? I was in a hospital, but I won't get into the whole dream. I've told it here a couple of times, but I woke up.
With the sword.
Yeah, and the guy putting his fingers in my mouth, man. I woke up gagging and tasted the saltiness of the fingers and shit. It was disgusting. Yeah.
It was doing weird shit in your room or whatever. When you were like there, we got the UFO waiting outside the window, and they popped in to do some weird crap all of a sudden, and then got the heck out of there.
Well, that was the condo. That was the place that I did 100, and I did 26 somewhere else. The Ouija board sessions trying to contact the devil. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, you got to try. I mean, nothing happened. I figured, well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, shit happened. It sure did.
Yeah, it could have been them disguising themselves as aliens and UFOs coming in there to do all that stuff just because you opened that doorway or whatever.
And I never closed them. I never said goodbye. The whole time. I just did it like last year. I finally said goodbye, but who knows if it worked? I don't know. I left the doors open to hell. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. Something happened here. I just watched like 20 people fall off. Now they're starting to pop back on. That's weird. Yeah, it's like, hold on, I'm getting a message here. What?
Maybe
went off. Down. It says you went off and then came back online. All right.
When you have me on.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the stuff that they talked about.
Yeah, right when it gets down to the nitty gritty and down to the spooky. That's
amazing, right? It's amazing how they know.
Yeah, they know when to pull the plug on us, don't they?
Basically, true.
We're back up though, so yeah.
It's just a weird world. You know, you get into this field and you think, oh, it's a bunch of fake and everybody lies. And I say that a lot. Well, a lot of people do lie, but there are people who do legitimate work and catch legitimate evidence. And
well, after what started happening to me when I was like a little kid and stuff like that, that's what made me go after them. I was like, well, I'm going to find out what this stuff is. I'm going to start videotaping it. I want to find it on my own terms. I don't want to be them to come to me on their terms. I want to also find them and videotape them and see what this is on my own terms. I'm going to go out and get this on video. I'm going to get this on camera. I'm going to go out and hunt this stuff. If you're going to come to me, I'm going to hunt you back, type of thing, so. But
don't you think they know we're doing that anyway? They're watching every single thing we do.
Well, at first I needed it as evidence for myself because not only did I already know, but I also wanted to see if I can get the videos of these crafts and UFOs and
sure.
myself and figure this out as a all these people claim to be in this field, and none of them have the right answers, or some of them might have some answers, some of them might have opinions, or and when it all boils down to it, we don't know until they show up and tell us all the secrets anyways. So, but
Well,
we don't know, so I'm in this, and everybody's in it, and everybody's got their own answers and opinions and questions and everything. And so, yeah.
So Greer last week said we were going to have disclosure on Sunday. We didn't. So
Well,
what do we do? What do we?
Okay.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
The problem was these people that say this, Ned Greer. Gosh, man, that good guy. I mean, it's sad because there's so much potential right there. Isn't there?
He's so smart. The guy he's put together for this.
So don't go out on a limb and say stupid things aren't
Yes.
true. Okay, number one, there's never going to be disclosure. Okay, never. There will never be disclosure. I know that's hard pill to swallow.
I'm surprised to hear you say that, though.
Well, because you know why? Because
it hasn't happened in 80 years.
Not only that, it's never happened, period.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens is they show up, and okay, this is when disclosure is going to happen. Okay, this is what's going to happen. When our military can develop a UFO that could be as good as their UFOs, then the disclosure will happen. As long as we can't catch up, if we're not able to catch up to their technology, there will never be disclosure. Okay.
Wait, why would that make disclosure happen, though?
There might be disclosure saying, yeah, we've captured some ships and we back engineered them. Okay, so that's about as much disclosure as you're going to get. You're not going to get disclosure on them saying, okay, we've captured some ships and we know the aliens that we got them from. That's never going to happen. They're going to say we captured some ships from some extraterrestrials. We have no idea where they came from. We have no idea where these ships. Well, maybe these ships crashed. Maybe we shot them down. I mean, that might come out, but we're never going to say these aliens are from this galaxy. It might if they.
No, they can't, dude.
If they just come down and land and tell us that we are them and this is where we're from, that's when disclosure is going to happen. But if that doesn't happen, there isn't going to be any type of disclosure because we're always going to have different aliens from different parts of the galaxy coming here with different types of UFOs. So how are we going to ever have disclosure on one single phenomenon when it's coming from all over the place? Probably, unless we just get to the bottom line. Okay, we're only seeing one UFO guy, only one race, one. I mean, what are we?
But going off of what you based that argument over was what you said. If we build something equal to an alien ship, well, they would have to tell us one of two things. Either they got that technology from aliens or they created it themselves. If they say they got it from back engineering, they have to talk about the aliens, Jeff. You can't just ignore it, right? But if they say they created it on their own, well, now they don't have to tell us shit.
That's what I was saying. If they came out and with a disclosure on the back engineered stuff, like if they have more information than they're going to tell us, they will. But probably what's happening is, okay, let's say they do have a crash UFO, or let's say that they shot one down somehow, or somehow they have some crashed UFOs and some debris or whatever.
Okay.
They might be able to back engineer a little bit or figure out a little bit or here and there. But unless that UFO has like a download that into their computer, will it explain where these people are from, who they are, what, the mechanisms of how the blueprint of this thing works and what it's made out of and how, it's made up of or whatever, we won't know, because we would just have a piece of junk of that'd be just like wrecking a space shuttle into the ground, like somehow we can go back in time with the space shuttle and ram it into the ground in the 1600s and have them try to figure out how to duplicate it and turn airplanes out of it.
They would never be able to.
Exactly. And not only that, they'd never know where it came from either or who it came from. So we're in the same boat. We don't know where the thing is, so
1,000,000%.
Yeah, unless they just show up and say, we're the people where this came from. But not only that, but they're also going to have to explain to us that they're not the only ones visiting. And this craft might not work the way this other craft works. If you have two different spacecrafts by two totally different civilizations, they're not going to work the same. unless they totally unless those aliens met each other and share technologies and they have a similar product. But like, you're not going to have a space shuttle is not going to work the same way an Elon Musk ship's going to work now. It's going to be not compatible. Like, these guys, they can't even save them because they have different spacesuits that they can get. They have to have their spacesuits are not compatible with SpaceX suits, so they're trapped up there still until they can exchange spacesuits to get on their rockets to come back down. So it's totally bizarre.
It is. Yeah,
like, you can't even fly that UFO if you're wearing a suit from a different UFO. It might not even be compatible to fly in this UFO with those spacesuits, so you might not even be able to fly it, or whatever. Or this technology is not jiving with this technology
because of the way it binds with your frequency.
By just the whole by the way everything's developed. Because see, those guys that are trapped in that space station up there, those guys arrived there on a Lockheed Martin spacecraft, and they had space suits from the Lockheed Martin spacecraft. Now their whole thing was, we'll just pick them up on a SpaceX ship and bring them back. Well, they found out we can't do that because their spacesuits aren't compatible to be inside of a SpaceX.
Oh my God! No way.
Yeah. So in order to do that, they would have to bring them spacesuits to the space station, have them change into those suits, and then get into the rocket.
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, things aren't even compatible right now.
What?
So we have two different space agencies with two different spaceships, and they don't even have compatibility. So,
that's unreal, really.
Yeah. So, how are we going to know where these aliens crashed this saucer, what they're about, and how this thing's back engineered compared to something else that dropped down with different aliens, how that thing's going to be back engineered? We got so many things going on here. We got so many different aliens, so many different UFOs. We're never going to know where everybody's from and how everything works until we actually get a little bit up there, which we're absolutely nowhere near. We can't even have compatible spacesuits for different mechanisms to go to outer space in. I mean, this doesn't make sense here.
What about the guy who said we have the technology to take ET home? Well, that guy.
We have him. I think that's a crock of crap.
Hey, from NASA.
That guy doesn't. Well, then he needs to call Lockheed Martin and have. He needs to have SpaceX and Lockheed Martin at least get on board with a compatible spacesuit for both of these, these platforms here. So I don't think we can take ET anywhere because he's not going to, unless we have his own ship to send him back to space in.
Yeah. No, and everything has to be compatible. It's kind
of like Stanton Freeman. Stanton Freeman always said that we have the technology to go to the stars, but do we have the will we actually do it? Will we actually get down to the bare bones? Because he said you can do a nuclear fusion rocket. No, nuclear fission.
Okay. I knew what you meant. Yeah.
A nuclear fission rocket, and you can always have the gas tank full because a nuclear fission rocket runs on oxygen and all the elements that are already in space that you can decipher it, suck it in from space and use it as fuel for your rocket. So you can go all over the stars with the nuclear fission rocket, and the particles kick out the back, and you fly through space at incredible speeds all over the galaxy, but no one will do it. No one will make it. No one will get on board it. No one will do it. You need explorers. You need people that are, want to go for a 20, 30-year ride, before they come back, type of thing. You're looking at a 40-year trip, like 20.
Do you know how boring that would be?
Like 20 years out and exploring a bunch of stuff, and then 20 years coming home, type of thing. Well, once you get 20 years out, explore a little bit around, and then have a target.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to go explore. Okay, because they said 32 light years is where Zeta Reticuli is, but you're not going at the speed of light, so you're not going to get there. But you can get partial the way there, look around, explore some stuff around, and then come back, you know.
But there's nothing to see. It's all the same.
Well, I mean, or find a star that's in the vicinity that you can.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, there's nothing
with this
around.
technology. It's tough.
There's nothing within our vicinity, but we'd have to go farther out and spend more time going farther out before we came back.
Don't you think whoever built this solar system, universe, galaxy, life that we're living understood that we cannot go anywhere? They purposely made it like this so we could only hurt ourselves. We're not allowed to go visit anywhere else. And if we did get the technology, they hit the reset button, which is why we've had 5 extinction level events or 6.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. We would to get there from here, we would have to get smarter. And then we would create the first wormhole to get there from here, or we would create faster than light speed travel, which is possible, which they never thought would be.
Isn't that warp speed?
That would be like faster than light speed, whatever.
Yeah, I think warp speed, like warp 10 is like 10 times the speed of light, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, you're right.
Or we would come up with a brand new technology where we can find a way to teleport ourselves anywhere in the universe somehow. Like, you know how Einstein said that this particle was doing the same thing in 1,000 miles. Somehow, if we can connect that invisible gap, we can teleport ourselves from this point of the universe to this point, or from the moon to the Earth in like 1 second. We can teleport ourselves back and forth to our different locations. Like I have a base on the moon, we can teleport ourselves back to the base here on Earth or whatever. You know, teleporting stations or whatever, all over the world, all over the galaxy, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to see, whatever planet you want to do or whatever, you know.
In an instant.
Yeah. But like you said, they said that the Europeans survived the ice ages somehow through probably underground caves and different ways. But, you know, they did. And I mean, of course, it wiped out a lot of people, but a lot of people survived them too. So. But
they found there's so much underground we haven't even seen yet. And
we said that a lot of these ice ages where people moved underground, and when the ice age, when it was over, what if these people never resurfaced? Maybe there's What if there's huge worlds under the surface of the Earth we know nothing about with different people?
They built them.
Yeah, but
big
what
time.
What if the underground cities have higher technology and better technology than us on the surface because they've simply had more time to develop their technology, and then they know that we're on the surface and they don't want to interact with us because they think that we're bad up here and that they're maybe, or they don't want to. Maybe they send spies up here to. Of course they do.
Of course.
And then they send back information. They say, "Nah, you want to stay underground. You want no part of that up there, man. Stay."
They got this thing called social media. You don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
But no.
Wars, you know, the surface wars and all that.
Totally.
Of course. Why would you want to come back?
Dude, I have a theory that Atlantis, you know, because Atlantis was thought to have maybe sank. It was on a caldera, it sank, and all of that technology got buried. But there were people that were in capsules who were able to survive that took their technology and their logic to other parts of the world. And they did that underground. They did it underground by building underground.
And maybe that's what the underwater UFOs are. And of course, they have the 3-stage UFO, a UFO that can go underwater, it can fly in the air, and then it can go to space. So it's
transgender thing, whatever they call it, transmedium. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if the Atlantis people or the people that have gone underground during the last 5 ice ages have developed these technologies, of course, they're going to be able to stay hidden underground, stay hidden under the ocean, and stay hidden in space. I mean, crap, if you're being chased by Air Force jets, they can't even keep up. You just push a button and you just accelerate away from them, you know.
Wait, Atlantis wasn't a one place? How come in history I was told that it was one area with concentric circles in a place between 2 pillars, according to Pluto's story from his great-grandfather. It told him where it was. How is that spread out all over a whole... It was a civilization. Of course it was. And it was one place, I thought.
from what I always remembered is it was above ground at one point, and then it broke off and went into the underwater,
Right.
and it was somewhere located where the Bermuda Triangle is located.
That's what they say, but now they're saying Spain, they're saying Australia. There's a whole bunch of shit. Nathan knows more, I guess, but yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, we'll have to continue next time, Jeff, because we're out of it.
All right. Of course, my YouTube, youtube.com/@UFOs over Phoenix. And of course, you'll have all the links in the description. And
all that will be up immediately after the show.
UFOsoverPhoenix.com. Buy me a coffee, PayPal. You got it, man. That's all it.
Man, there was a lot we covered. That was fun. Another good one. That was fun.
That's it. And support my channel and subscribe, man.
Yeah.
I need, man. Help me out.
Jeff Willis.
On you.
One of the most prolific UFO hunters we have in the field. You can see him on all sorts of stuff. Go to his channel, ufosoverphoenix.com, and you'll see all the links to everything. Jeff, thanks again. As always, a pleasure, and of course, we'll keep in touch.
Awesome. Take care.
Thanks, man. One. Be safe.
Thanks a million.
Thank you. Man, that was amazingly fast. I looked down at the time for the first time. I thought it was like 8:20. It's like, oh my God, we got to go. It just started getting really, 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 really good again. The whole show was good. I love Atlantis. So maybe we'll continue where we left off. And I don't know, depending on what happens in the field in this world that we live. But thank you very much, Jeff, for coming on. And I'll put the links and everything into the... the reason I do that, I do it after the show, not before, because sometimes people don't show. Sometimes I didn't show, you didn't. I mean, I'm not saying it would happen, but it's happened to me a lot. So I wait, and then I see what we talk about and put the appropriate links in immediately after. So thanks, everybody. We'll be back. What's today? Wednesday? We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. And we do Truthology for ufology. We do it for you every night. Well, Sundays for members, but you get... Now, don't get upset that YouTube removed that video. I'm more upset than anything. I can't believe the blurriness tonight with this camera. Must be because of the heat source. All right. See you guys on the flip. And if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. Alien bless.